Carnival season in communities around the world, and one of the most famous parties in the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro started last Friday and runs through this Saturday. Traditionally, it's a time of feasting before the fasting season of Lent that's observed by the Catholic Church and some others. But in Rio, as in many cities that celebrate, Carnival has become a time of parades, parties, and performances. One of the most famous here is a series of samba competitions that entertain for hours. There was a public health emergency declared just before Carnival kicked off. Rio and other parts of Brazil saw outbreaks of dengue fever, a mosquito-borne disease that can cause severe muscle and joint pain. Authorities opened new places to care for victims and started new efforts to contain or repel mosquitoes. Nevertheless, the party went on. Welcome to a new week of international events coverage on the world from A to Z. My name is Carl Azus, hence the A and the Z, and I'm happy to see you. Got some interesting topics to talk about today. One of them is the use of artificial intelligence in screening packages from other countries and guarding against drug smuggling. Fentanyl is one of these drugs that's caused a lot of overdoses and deaths in America. It's an extremely potent painkiller. In medicine, fentanyl can be used to help people undergoing painful surgeries or people in constant pain from cancer who don't get relief from other opioid medications. But because it's highly addictive, fentanyl can be abused, and it's often illegally shipped into America, mainly from China and Mexico, according to the U.S. government. Near Los Angeles International Airport, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency is testing an artificial intelligence system to help detect drug shipments. Is the system catching everything? Probably not. Could it eventually replace the jobs that CBP agents currently work? That's certainly possible. But here's a look at some upsides of the system.
In the short time we've been here, this packet of fentanyl was seized in the mail. The sender of this envelope now under federal investigation.
The deadly drug detected by artificial intelligence. Its street value?
About $100,000 worth of fentanyl.
Every piece of mail, every package entering the United States is scanned by CBP. Right now, that's done by X-ray, with officers staring at images across their screen. And if they become suspicious, they open the package up to determine whether a threat's inside.
But AI could revolutionize the way U.S. Customs and Border Protection does battle against smugglers.
We're here near Los Angeles International Airport in a facility that processes over 240 million packages every single year. Officers seizing numerous items, including counterfeit merchandise, illegal food, as well as precursors to the deadly drug fentanyl. Now, in order to help stop America's fentanyl epidemic, officers are now relying on artificial intelligence, like this system. Unlike old technologies such as X-rays, this system is constantly learning and teaching itself.
The mission of this AI system, part of a CBP pilot program, is to identify patterns, how smugglers are concealing fentanyl in order to evade detection.
Something's not right.
But there is another important byproduct of this sophisticated technology.
If I, as the officer, can look at some kind of device and say, you know what, big red flag, red alert, yeah, then I could actually follow the proper protocols, isolate, notify the proper people, and then take care of it without getting too close and endanger myself or others.
This pilot program is currently being used for cargo arriving by air to LAX. CBP hopes to expand the use of AI to other critical points of entry into the United States, like the Port of Los Angeles, the busiest port in the nation, and at the border, a major point of origin for fentanyl entering the U.S. drug supply, killing thousands. One looming question, with well-funded drug cartels known to adopt advanced technology of their own, how long will AI provide U.S. authorities a cutting-edge advantage to stay ahead of the threat?
It's an incredibly challenging mission set, something that's probably the most challenging that I've seen in my 30 years in law enforcement. But as a father of an 8-year-old daughter, as a husband, it's incredibly important. We take it personally at Customs and Border Protection, and we're going to do everything we can to keep this poison off the streets.
On this date in world history. February 12, 1541, Santiago de Chile, what would become the capital and biggest city in Chile, was founded by Spanish conquistador Pedro de Valdivia. Coincidentally, February 12, 1818 was when the nation of Chile officially declared its independence from Spain. fashion history was made on this date in 1947. French designer Christian Dior introduced a collection called the New Look. It was Dior's first show, it was massively successful, and it redefined women's fashions following the more utilitarian styles of the 1930s and World War II years. And February 12, 1994 was when thieves broke into the National Gallery in Norway and quickly made off with a painting. This painting, Edvard Munch's The Scream. The robbers left a note that said, "Thanks for the poor security, but an artwork that famous is hard to sell." And within a few months, with the help of an art detective, authorities located the stolen work and got it back in good condition.
Upward and out. What city has the distinction of being the largest metropolitan area in the world? Tokyo, Japan, Delhi, India, Jakarta, Indonesia, Shanghai, China. India and China may have the largest population overall, but the city with the largest metropolitan area is Tokyo, which is home to more than 37 million people.
People in Japan have a good reason to fear earthquakes. In 1923, 105,000 civilians were killed and the city was leveled. And now Tokyo is sprouting with skyscrapers. Imagine being inside one of these when an earthquake hits. In the Mori Tower, hidden behind the walls, architects installed a device that protects the building's foundation, an oil damper unit. In the event of an earthquake, it absorbs and dampens shocks by stretching and shrinking repeatedly.
This is the model of the oil damper, a cylinder with oil inside. It starts getting warm, which means the energy of the quake transforms into heat and gets released. As a result, the tremor of the whole building can be controlled.
Just 1 year after the Great Quake of 1923, Japan's capital introduced the first seismic building code, a plan for earthquake-resistant construction. A century later, it's still improving its seismic standards, some of the strictest in the world. For example, buildings have myriad shock absorbers. Some have heavy pendulums in the upper floors. They automatically swing counter to the building's sway during a quake. Underground generators provide emergency power. So far, the city has seen some success. Takashi Hosoda was in a skyscraper when a 9.0 magnitude earthquake struck the country in 2011. The building held up, but the shock triggered a deadly tsunami.
A tremendous traffic conjunction occurred in this area, and so many people could not go home. Since that time, we have been prepared to accommodate people who are trapped in the city and cannot go home.
Prepared by creating benches that hold emergency supplies, numerous water reservoirs, even emergency toilets, and yet the country remains vulnerable.
It is worrying because there are many wooden houses remaining in the capital, especially in the downtown areas.
Seismologists predict there's a 70% chance of another major earthquake in the next 30 years.
After visiting schools in the far northwestern state of Alaska last week, we're jumping over to the other side of the country today, first to the Tar Heel State, where we've got Miss Moore's class watching at Haynes Magnet School. Great to see y'all in North Carolina. And then to the Sunshine State, where our friend Mr. Puzanchera is here with his students from Brookside Middle School. Welcome to our viewers in Sarasota. Someone has meddled by putting metal in the metals for skills that test your metal. Let me explain. This is the Eiffel Tower. It's been modified and renovated through its 135 years, and during one of those renovations in the 1900s, parts of its original iron structure were removed. Well, they've reappeared. Some of Eiffel's original metal is in the Olympic medals that will be awarded at this year's Summer Games in Paris. So gold, silver, or bronze, it's a way for every winner to take home a piece of French history. When you think about it, any medal takes a solid gold effort. You need nerves of steel, an iron will, you need to be tough as nails, strong as titanium, have more than a silver tongue or hafnium-hearted attempt, and be willing to get the lead out regardless of your bronze age. We just hope all the winners like heavy metal, y'all. I'm Carl Azus for The World from A to Z, and you mean the world to me.